Hey everyone, and welcome to a video that I never thought would happen today, but welcome to the speed build of the Siamang Dome or Half Dome. There's a big story behind, and if you're interested, stick with me, you're gonna find out now. So yeah, welcome to the Siamang Dome Half Dome speed build. Today we are looking into a speed build that I have done a couple of hours before my PC decided to die entirely. Now I will talk about this dome in a couple of minutes, but first let me tell you what happened the last 4-ish days, I guess. So thanks to Frontier, we had early access from last Thursday on, I believe it was. And I just went in and played and had a good time. And, you know, I made a whole content plan of what I want to do because in a couple of weeks I'm going on holidays. And so it's basically the time where you wouldn't touch anything on your system if it's running, because I'm super crazy relying on this one at the moment. And then things happened that should not happen. My computer just all of a sudden wouldn't boot, like it wouldn't start. Like I saw it and I was like, okay, that seems to be like a little plug not plugged in correctly. And so I did that and nothing worked. And then I did some troubleshooting and I changed all the components and all of a sudden it worked again. So I was like, okay, fine. There was like a little thing not plugged in correctly anymore, or just whatever, because of the heat wave, maybe something, you know, bended a little and then, you know, whatever. And then the same thing happened again next day, and I wasn't able to bring the PC to life again. And I changed a couple of things, I tested a couple of things, and all of a sudden, I just didn't really change anything. I just took out the battery of the mainboard because it, you know, troubleshooting from the website of the mainboard said, you know, unplug it for like 10-ish minutes so the BIOS can reset and then plug it in again. I just did that and put it back in, and I just hit the power button, and all of a sudden there was an explosion, like a legit explosion. And in that explosion, I really don't know what exactly happened. I can't tell you. There was like so much little smoke coming out of the computer that even my fire alarm rang. And so I was like, okay, I'm not gonna touch anything here anymore. And so I brought it to a specialist, and the specialist then told me, well, your mainboard is basically dead. And from that moment on, I was like, okay, well, then we are just going to change the mainboard, right? And then they continued, yeah, no, but your hard drive is dead as well, and your RAM is dead as well, and basically everything is dead. And I was like, okay, so that little explosion seems to have killed my computer entirely, right? And so it appeared that exactly this was the case, and I thought that that's it. I really thought that's it. And frustration started to creep in, because legit the whole weekend was planned to do some pre-recording for the holidays, and I lost like 20 planned hours, like legit. And so basically the next couple of weeks will be very short on content. I'm quite aware of that, but there's barely anything I can do. I don't have the money to get anything new right now, so there is no chance unless this video is going viral and will get 1 million views. Then we can talk about that. I'm afraid that won't happen. So yeah, it's basically really shitty. At the moment I'm rocking this computer on a Frankenstein version. I'm having some components mixed, the only ones that work. My brother was so kind to help me. He basically got the whole system to run again with all the components, with everything. And then I brought it back to my home, and guess what? When I started it, everything crashed again, and I don't know, blue screens all over the place. And at the moment, our best guess is that I had this nasty virus that everyone is talking about in the world, that you can't really tell you have a virus, but in the background, it's slowly destroying your computer. I've heard about that one, but I never thought about that I could have it. And I had no signs that there was anything happening, but at this point I'm really completely confused. I really don't know what's working and not. The problem is I'm only running at 1 RAM at the moment, so it's not enough to play Planet Zoo at the way I want to. I can't really render perfectly and stuff, so things taking 1 million times longer. And if that isn't enough, Windows did deactivate, and now Microsoft isn't accepting my key anymore, so I'm not even having Windows anymore. And I called them today, and they were like, yeah, no, mate, this is like a faulty number. And I'm like, dude, here's my bill, here's my recipe. I bought this from your store. And they're like, no, that's not valid. That's not a valid code. And I'm like, How on earth is that not a valid code? It just worked for 2.5 years, so why is that not a valid code? And they were like, yeah, mate, the computer shows us that that's not a valid code. Not sure if the virus is also corrupting these codes, which I can't believe it is, because I legit have the email with the exact same code, so whatever. Now I really would need to get Windows again, which I can't afford at this point in time as well. And so yeah, I'm just really trying to do whatever I can, and I can't really tell you how much pain it was the last couple of days to bring you all of these 2 videos now today. What's after that? I have absolutely no clue. I really do hope that I can get a running system somehow done. Like, I don't need my full system. It will be okay to go to 32 gigabytes. That would be fine, and I can finally run the games. And I just need a stable system, because at this point, it really feels like if I do touch the wrong program, or if I do touch the wrong thing, or if I don't know what, I'll get a blue screen. It's a total random blue screen. It's not related to power. It's not related to RAM. It's not related to anything. It's just like a random blue screen I get every, I don't know, 20-ish minutes. So it's really always like a fight against the time. I also tried rendering the all-in-one overview like 11 times this night. So I just, you know, stayed up all night, I guess. And I'm also now recording this video in the morning, just before my workday starts, because, you know, I've got a normal job. So loads of coffee today, I guess. Yeah, whatever. I think enough pain for the moment. Let's talk about some cool things which you can see right in front of it. And also, if you guys are kind enough, you know, it would be a pleasure. If you guys want to help me out, there's legit the easiest way to do so. And if you've listened to this point in the video, you are great. You are the ones that are great. So please make sure to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and also comment down below whatever you want, just to help the video get out there, get into the algorithm. That's like legit the only thing I can hope for right now. Share it with your friends if you have anyone who you would say this could be interesting for, and you know, just in general, that would be very lovely. And if you know, if there's anything else you could do, you can become a member or anything else, you know, just support me even more. But you don't need to. Please don't feel any pressure or something. It's just like, so you know, okay? But I think it's time now to talk about the build, which I am super happy about. I am very sorry that I most likely will not be able to give you cinematics at the end, or a real-time part. Like, I will now render this video, I will bring this out to YouTube, create a thumbnail, call it a day, and from this moment on, I'm going to try updating the BIOS, updating Windows, and blah, blah, blah in my lunch break, because there's legit no other time slot where I could do it. And then we need to pray for the best. But this build in particular was something I was looking for quite a bit since the very access to early access here. Now, the reason why it's kind of special is, as you've seen in the overview, there are still some issues with the Siamang, that they don't climb or do the brachiation from one piece to the other. So I will briefly talk about brachiation as a thing, simply because there are a couple of things we need to talk about. So I love the fact that they implemented that, and whatever I will say now, it is better to have it in the game in that way than to not have it, full stop. However, it's a little bit sketchy that it is advertised as a behavior, because it really isn't a behavior in that sense that it only works on that climbing frame. Yes, I can see that it definitely is a little bit more free than with all the other enrichment items that we usually have, where there is one specific animation. So it is a lot more free than the usual animation you have from an enrichment piece, because that is always one single animation versus multiple animations we have from brachiation on this new climbing frame. But it is kind of a shame that they can't do the same thing on other Sin climbing pieces that grant a certain height or space below that one, because that's legit the only thing you need to ensure is there has to be a given space below the climbing frame so that it can do. You even get like a little info if the piece is working or not when you click on it. And I found the barriers and the hit barrier, or like the hitboxes, to be very nice. You can even make them climb through very thin little narrow spaces and stuff, which I'm super happy about. Frontier did a very good job in that, so you can really make them climb through a very nice little cave or whatever. That works. works. I tested that, so brilliant work there. I'm just like a little bit upset that it doesn't work on other thin pieces. However, there's another lovely animation that they come with, and that is this hanging animation. You know, they just go and then just like loosely hang down from a piece and just chill there and swing a little to the, you know, just a little bit wiggling and so on. That's something they do also on other thin pieces, just as the binturong does. And here's where my confusion comes in, because it really seems like that the brachiation is basing on the same calculation as the hanging animation of the binturong, and effectively also the hanging animation of the siamang, which always calculates how much space below that piece is. And also the piece has to be horizontal, or like at least somewhat horizontal, I guess mostly horizontal. So I really don't get why it can't be like a normal behavior. And Frontier, if you are listening, if there's any chance, manpower or whatever, to bring us brachiation as a normal behavior also for the other apes, I think that alone would be enough for the next free update. If that's a thing, I'd totally call it a day, if only that is the next free update. And you guys can comment down below how you see it. But if the next update would bring us brachiation for the likes of the orangutan, the chimpanzee, the bonobo, for just to name a few, and maybe even some of the lemurs, because they do some kind of overhead climbing as well, that would be fully enough and would be ridiculously great. In other news, I love the way how they do the brachiation. I love the little show off they do. Like, there are two different variants of the brachiation going on. So the one you have is just the normal climbing, like going from A to B on the climbing frame. I wish they would do that more often as like a really like a traversable thing rather than an enrichment. I really would love to see them going from A to B using brachiation. And there is another one which I would call more likely the enrichment, or like the special move is kind of when they do the little dance, you know, they run across the thing, just swing down, which is wonderfully done. Like, the animation team again did a stellar job on that. Looks really cool, really cool. But at the moment there is a couple of issues with the swinging from A to B, so they are basically looking into that and fixing this. Not sure if they can already patch that for the version you get now, or with a hotfix afterwards. We are going to see about that. Anyways, the build over here is very loosely inspired by some images I took from ZooChat, but the one thing I wanted to do is that like little waterfall rippling down and then having this half dome kind of feel to it, where you can go up this little viewing area where you have then the little indoor section where they can chill when there is rain or something, and the outdoor section should be really nice. And then we also have like a big half dome in a couple of seconds I'm going to build, which really doesn't have a huge reason to be there other than architectural reason, and also to prevent some light shade and light kind of context to the build. It's not really usable by the animals, and it's not really the one thing to go with, but I wanted to have that just to give this whole thing this half dome feel, and maybe also for the plants to get some more heat consultation maybe in there. Honestly, I just built that because it looked cool. My initial thought was to give this as kind of a barrier to their habitat, but in fact it just doesn't really touch the habitat. If my computer would have worked a little bit more, I could have looked into that a bit better, but it just didn't. So I'm very sorry it doesn't. So you just have to accept that the half dome we are going to build in a second is going to be just a cosmetic reason, other than really a helpful thing for the habitat. But the habitat itself, again, is split into this one building section, as you can see, where they can go below the pathway and above the pathway. And one thing that I'm really, a bit sad about is that the viewing platform at the moment is kind of a dead end. I wanted to connect this back with a little staircase, but as my computer decided to die on me, there wasn't any more chance to do so, and it's so unfortunate because I also wanted to live stream tonight, which potentially can still happen if I can this freaking computer get back to running without any issues, but I think chances are like 30-70 that it's not going to work, but then I try to get it to run this week, and we are going to have a live stream on Twitch again. I really want to and talk you through all the pain I had. But yeah, the two sections, as you can see, is the upper one over here in which they can chill and the guests can see them up close, and then we have this big old jungle section in the middle where they have the lake, the water pond, and also a lot of things to climb, a lot of climbing rigs, which I'm very much in love with. They can use them pretty neatly, and I think they look good. And I also got the inspiration of these bamboo sticks connected with the ropes from Zoo Chat. There were a couple of nice habitats that utilized this trick as well, and I know for a fact that Mr. Eben did the same thing because he had kind of the same inspiration as I figured when he did Koali. And yeah, I'm very sorry I couldn't make it to the recording of Koali. Some great stuff that Eben did there. But yeah, that was really in the midst of my computer issues, and so it's a shame it didn't work. But I really do hope that in the future I can join at some point, because the next episodes I potentially won't be there because of holidays, and all the fuzz going on at the moment is really stressing me out. Like, I think, you know, I'm doing really good at work at the moment. I'm really feeling super confident. It's a lot of stuff to do at work, but I'm feeling super well. It's a cool work at the moment. But my YouTube is giving me very much stress in that sense that I can't do, you know, what I want to do. Like, I really am a person who, I guess, is very good when it comes to stress. I have a very, very, very high bar until I'm very stressed. Like, I can deal with a lot of stress. Maybe that has to do with the time in the hospital I spent, but like working in a hospital, because that's real stress. And all the other stress in life is kind of relative to that. But yeah, this stress where I don't feel in control with the computer is really giving me the most pain at this point in time. So I'm very happy that I can at least bring you this build. And again, share it with everyone. Give the people a reason to watch it. Tell them here you can listen to a very painful story and see some digital zoo assets being built. I don't know. But yeah, this is most likely where we'll end today. As you can see, this is nearly, the build is nearly done. A couple of little things that I wanted to do are missing, like the benches, bins, like education boards, and all these kind of little things. Kind of a little backstage stuff and so on. I never came to do because computer said no. Computer says no. But yeah, that's just it. I really hope you guys enjoyed the episode anyways. I'm gonna include some screenshots now in the end so you can see that without fast moving pictures and just have a nice final view. If I will make it, I will also upload this to the workshop so you guys can enjoy this habitat yourself. But that's it. Camel out, camel over and out. I really hope you enjoyed today's episode. Stay safe, everyone. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Show it to your friends and blah, blah, blah. You know the drill. Enjoy the screenshots. Have a good time. And I hope to talk to you soon. I don't know. Have a good one. Stay safe and goodbye.